Well, this guy is famous not only for StarCraft, or not only for his overly, OCD-ness about his whole booth, but more so about his really good StarCraft play. If you guys see his record there, this is all time, like including Brood War. He has 281 wins and 111 losses. That's an incredible win record to have overall. And not even besides that, his win record so far for 2014 Pro League is, he has the most wins out of anyone else. He's tied with 3 other people up there. He's been a big guy for KT so far.
You take his win record, his wins, and he probably has more wins on a team like Prime has ever had, with all their GSTL wins, all their players put together. That's how many wins he has by himself.
Harsh, but probably true. Yeah.
All right, so Bbyong here. Let's talk about this guy. He dropped out of Code S in the round of 32. He took 3rd place. He lost to Dark in his first match, then ended up beating Tails, but then lost to Dark again in the rematch in that group. So coming off of a bit of a sad story there, but still looking solid when he played in the playoffs. So I'm favoring him here just because I think that this guy's got the better TBT, and he's been doing better more consistently overall in recent times.
Yeah, this guy, he's been a huge part of CJ Entis' team. He played amazingly during the playoffs. He was one of the main reasons, even more so than Hero, I have to say, for them getting into the finals of the round 3 playoffs. So I really put it all behind this guy, even though it is really close between him and FlaSh.
Yeah, well, the map here is going to be Outboxer, a map we've seen a lot of Terrans picked on. Seems to be a decent map for Terran versus Zerg. And looks like they just hit each other here. Let's find out which one of these 2 great Terrans, the king of Pro League and one of the best Terrans in the world individual leagues, is going to put their team into the league.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the bottom right in the red for KT Rolster, it's FlaSh.
And up here at the top left in the yellow for CJ Entis, it's Bbyong. And we'll see. I really like what you were saying earlier, Moonglade, about the Hellbats. I really wonder if that's going to come into play in the late game.
I definitely think we could see some more timings with Hellbats for sure. I mean, we have been seeing it a lot in TVZ. But for TVT, I'm not too sure. I haven't seen that many TVTs lately, and the patch only just came out recently.
That's the big thing, especially about competitive StarCraft here, especially in Korea. There is just not that much TVT. So it's not these guys don't have much to go off on besides practicing scrimming and stuff like this. So I wonder if someone's gonna really pull out some kind of crazy build. That would be awesome.
Well, I think if there's ever going to be a time for them to do it, it would be now, in probably one of the most intense TVTs we have for Pro League.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be if it happens, it's not going to be one of those builds that you've seen on the ladder. It's going to be a new, completely internal build. And this guy's a FlaSh fan. And look at this gas first here for Bbyong.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if we're going to see...
Is this the beginning?
Yeah, we could see some very fast Hellions from this.
Yeah.
And from there, it could be very well fast Hellbats. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is going to be... pretty interesting, man. Yep. Consider this, actually, food for thought. If you have 4 Hellions in a medevac, then you drop them out, you can still have 4 Hellbats out of 1 medevac, whereas before, you can only have 2 Hellbats in a medevac, but if you drop 4 Hellions, then you can have 4 Hellbats.
That's a really good point, actually.
Oh, boy.
That is a good point.
So with only 1 medevac, drop 2 in one base, drop 2 in the other, then you suddenly have 4 Hellbats in 2 different places off of just 1 medevac. So
yeah, that'd be a great timing for sure. Especially in today's meta. But we'll have to wait and see.
Blizzard changes it so you can only put 2 Hellions in a medevac. I'm like, no.
I'd be okay with that. As a Zerg player, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But yeah, that just wouldn't be fair. And we are seeing a fast factory.
Yep. That's the big thing about getting that gas first. You're able to get that factory right after the barracks, and this is pretty cool.
We're from Virginia. Watched you since you destroyed Stork in 2008. 2008.
That was 6 years ago, if you think about it.
6 years ago.
Years ago.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Almost
what was I doing 6 years ago?
Almost as long as the 7 years were, man. Yeah, 6 years ago, where was I? I was in high school too. I was playing StarCraft 1, but I definitely wasn't as good as FlaSh was. I definitely didn't beat Stork back then.
No, neither did I, unfortunately.
And we see a Hellion Scout from FlaSh. So he's going to scout this really fast factory pretty quickly, and from there, he's going to kind of have a fair idea of what he's up against and probably be ready for it. But at the same time, FlaSh is going for that fast CC.
Yeah.
So he might have to cancel it. He might have to put a bunker down. He might have to do something.
Well, it looks like he's going to try to trap this Reaper. He gets the first shot, so he's definitely going to win the fight. The amount of kiting is going to get you out of this one, FlaSh.
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's definitely dead. So, you know, he gets some good information here, but it's really unfortunate he loses the Reaper because he doesn't have that counter pressure to stop the Hellion harass that's coming his way now. And like you said, this is really fast Hellions coming out of Bbyong. FlaSh loves to play this style where he's very, very scout, you know, heavy. He's very focused early on finding out what his opponent's doing before he expands, but that doesn't give him a whole lot of units here. Tanks with the SCV.
Oh, look at this. Reaper coming in as well. One Marine goes down, another one goes down. Bunker's not finished yet. It does finish, but these Marines are cut off. And there's more Hellions on the way, more Reapers as well.
Yeah, if you can actually keep those Marines at the top of the ramp and prevent them from coming down. Oh, well, even lines them up here. And that second Reaper, and here comes a Hellion. This is one of those builds we were talking about, man. It's just a quick, fast Hellion aggression here. Not what we normally see in TVT.
Oh,
great micro there by Bbyong.
That micro giving me the chills.
He's in so much trouble here now.
He's lost already so many SCVs, so much mining time. He has one Hellion. He's able to kill one of these Hellions, but still, I mean, already so much damage is being done. The repair on the Hellion is actually going to keep it alive, but still, look at this, 11 SCVs.
It helps him a lot, but you know, he lined up the SCVs while he's repairing, right? Like,
yeah,
wow.
That was a lot of damage. And from here, we could very well see Banshee harass from there, or we can see a different transition. But at the same time, I mean, like, FlaSh did go for the fast CC, but he got the orbital very late on it, so he can't really catch up with Mules after losing that many SCVs. And at the same time, we got Bbyong already with his CC up, researching
and the orbital
pretty much at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, FlaSh is in a lot of trouble now.
I'm concerned about a possible, you know, just a siege tank Viking push, or you know, or even some medevacs. Just push across the map with siege tanks, medevacs or Viking for vision, and then you just you fly in there and you just start sieging up and slow pushing, making sure that FlaSh can't take a third base, making sure that his unit count stays low because he's in a much better place with his tech right now, and then you know, take that advantage with the economy, take a third base as he's already started his third command center here. And, you know, FlaSh needs to do some big catch-ups, and I'm not sure it's going to happen.
I love Bbyong's approach from here. He's not following up with a huge push just yet, but like you said, he's getting that third CC, and he's just going to push himself so far ahead with this. He's already getting the extra SCVs from that third command center. He's going to be able to drop it when he's ready, when he needs that saturation there. And, you know, he's just going to be in such a good position after that.
Yep, this little lone Hellion over here comes to scout, and he wants to see compositionally, what are you building? And he gets all the way in. Wow.
Oh, and he actually gets to see exactly that there's nothing on the barracks, and that there's we got a starport and a factory building. So it's going to be mech from both players, but at the same time, I mean, Bbyong is in such a lead, and he does have that fast third CC, so he can really just comfortably macro and then do a late game sort of timing. He doesn't have to worry about any sort of damage early, but he's in such a lead that it's really in FlaSh's court to do something about it.
You know, what I really think is very important that he saw is no siege tanks. He doesn't have any siege tanks yet, and that means he has this massive pushing power, or, you know, alternatively, it looks like he's trying to set up to do here a great defensive power that's going to allow him to take a third base. So he's setting up a longer wall here, and with that wall, he's going to be able to help defend. And I think maybe what Bbyong is thinking is, like, are you just going to try to, like, run a bunch of Hellions in here or something? I'm going to be ready for that. I'm just going to siege up. I'm not going to get caught. I'm not going to move out on the map where you can counterattack me. I'm just going to sit back defensively and space out my tanks here.
I love it. It's strong, safe play. He didn't need to go aggressive. He comes in there. He knows he can afford a scan with that. He sees everything in there, still sees no siege tanks, like you were mentioning before, and he's like, all right, I got this. And he should be really confident right now. Oh,
completely confident. All he has to do is macro from here. He sees how badly FlaSh's economy is. It's in complete shambles after that harassment. And yeah, he sees one factory pumping Hellions and one starport, and from there, I mean, he can just take his third base, make SCVs, make a death ball with mech, and just push him over.
And look at this, Hellions, 6 of them at the front step of FlaSh, and he doesn't have anything over here, nothing to block.
Nothing. I mean, he's
oh my God,
not even able to build his refineries. That gets shut down. Even though their regular Hellions are doing so much damage. And the thing is, like, if they get in a good spot here, even with their low count, they can still do a decent amount against FlaSh's Hellions.
Oh, these Set3s all lined up too. And he lost
wow.
even more. This is putting FlaSh even further behind. And he was already in a terrible position. And I don't see a way back for FlaSh at this point. He's gonna have to make like he's gonna have to do a miracle at this point.
Yeah. Another scan goes down here in the main base for Bbyong. Again, he knows he can afford it, especially after killing that many SCVs. He's up to 62 against 27. He's just like, LOL.
Third base is up. Triple Mule's dropping. He's even making a Thor right now, I notice. And I feel like that's just like, he's like, I just want this other big, beefy unit I'm going to have. Double Thor.
Well,
and it's also potentially because he's like, what if you're doing some sort of weird airplay to try to catch me off guard that
I mean,
way?
he did see that the Stargate was running. And so he might have thought to himself, maybe there's going to be some Banshees that's going to kind of try and stop my push when it comes. So why not get a couple of Thors that do, you know, really damn well against Banshees?
I mean, he's covered all of his bases. He's got a decent Viking count. He's got the Raven as well, as does FlaSh. But, you know, he's got that piece to the puzzle here. You know, he's adding additional factories back at home that he can afford off of. FlaSh is adding them too, but he just can't really afford to use all of them right now. Blue Flame, yeah,
finishes for Bbyong, and this really strong push, this follow-up push is coming across the map. Look at supplies right now. Up 40 is Bbyong. And what does FlaSh have back at home to defend? A bunch of Hellions.
No siege tanks. That's one thing that's notable versus 4, plus the Thors that he's making right now. So these siege tanks are going to rip a new one on those Hellions. I don't even know if FlaSh has an armory, to be honest, but that's something that Bbyong has that gave him the +1, so he can turn his Hellions into Hellbats, in fact, at his will. So as soon as the Hellions run, he might even decide to do that. He's already starting to push his way forward here with those Thors to help siege up the air and the tanks to siege up the ground. Here's a counterattack on the other hand.
Yep, gonna come in here at the third base and start killing a bunch of those SCVs, but the SCVs are like, okay, I'll just fight you, I guess. I mean, Bbyong's got a bunch of SCVs to blow, I guess, but still, this is the story here, this push. Bunch of auto turrets go down, and FlaSh is going to try to fight with these SCVs. PDDs go down, the tanks fight in, but it's too much. GG.
And to be honest, after that harassment early, that beautiful micro with the Hellion and Reapers, it was just kind of a formality for Bbyong after that. I mean, there's just no way you can come back in a mirror match after losing so many workers.
Not without a miracle, right? I mean,
you needed a miracle. And I mean, that Hellion run by was great if it was a lot earlier. I mean, he really had to start doing economy damage to Bbyong, but he just couldn't find a way in.
Yep. So. Especially with as good a player as Bbyong is, you're not going to come back from any position, especially even if you're FlaSh, you're not going to come back from that position. It was too much.
Well, I'm liking Coach Park's new buzz cut, but more than that, man, I'm really liking how he is bringing his team back up from where they started in round 1, looking better and better every time. And of course, taking a lead on KT Rolster here is a great win to take because of how solid they've been looking.